What's up, guys? I'm Fran Mirabella, and I'm back here on IGN's E3 live show, streaming to you from e3.ign.com. Our next franchise is known for scenic spots and a whole lot of killing. Let's now welcome Hillary Goldstein and a little game, which of course you guys know, Far Cry 3. Take it away, Hill.
Thanks, Fran. We're here to check out Far Cry 3, and while you may have seen the demo given at the Ubisoft press conference on Monday, we're going to get a chance to actually get some in-depth answers on some of your burning questions about the game and the demo. I am joined by Dan Hay, who is producer on Far Cry 3. So Dan, maybe you can just give us a little bit of a run-up to what is the story here, how do we get into the demo?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you start out the game as Jason, our main character, kind of a cocky young guy. You find yourself on the island, you think, you know, I've lived life, I think I know what I'm doing, and you realize very quickly on this island that things are not what it appears to be. You meet a cast of characters on there that are absolutely crazy. You're alone, your girlfriend's missing, your boat's been destroyed, you're trapped on this mysterious island with a hidden secret, and everybody on it's crazy. That's how it works.
Cool, well, why don't we just go ahead and jump into the demo.
Sounds good.
And pretty early on, we're going to see, first of all, I guess you can see sort of the scale and the scope of this island,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, if you can see it, you can get to it. And the place is savage, it's beautiful, but it's deadly.
And I guess one thing to point out is that, you know, your character does have a camera, and that's going to play actually into the gameplay, right?
Yeah, we wanted to take an opportunity with this version of Far Cry to do something different, right? And so, you know, Jason's got a camera. He uses what's available to him. If he picks up a camera and he finds it, he's going to use it. It's, well, this is the part where I want you to check this out. This is Voss.
Did I tell you the definition of insanity?
This guy's crazy.
Insanity is...
And this is essentially an introduction to kind of how crazy people are, because if you're getting this at the beginning of the game, this has sort of got to be the lower level of crazy, I would assume.
Yeah. Voss, he's crazy. He's been on this island too long. He's got his own unique brand of crazy. But that's the thing about Far Cry, is that there's a Voss around every corner, right? We wanted to make sure that you had exploration. We wanted to make sure you had that feeling of discovery. Sometimes you're on your toes, other times you're on your heels. When you're dealing with this guy, you're definitely on your heels.
You know, I think for people who are fans of the franchise would say that, you know, Far Cry 2 was in Africa. Far Cry 1, of course, was on a beautiful island, but they were very different in sort of thematically.
Yeah, totally.
Far Cry 1 obviously turned into having aliens all over the place, and Far Cry 2 was much more realistic.
Yeah.
Where would you kind of say that Far Cry 3 falls in between those? Or
It's funny, when we focused on what we wanted to do, we wanted to make sure it was gritty and realistic, but we wanted to make sure it was a little insane, right? When we think about the characters that we want to make, we're not really afraid of sort of the monsters under the bed. We're not really afraid of the monsters in the closet. What we wanted to do is we wanted to think about, what are we afraid of? We're afraid of the guy who breaks into your house at 3 o'clock in the morning and he's got a knife. That's this guy.
And he doesn't have anything nice planned for you.
No. You can see the rope. You can see what you're tied to. You know he's crazy.
And I think, and there's a lot of, you know, outside of just the dialogue, I think there's a lot of subtle stuff in just the performance. For Voss. I mean, what did you guys do to kind of bring that out of the character?
You know, the performance of the characters is incredibly important for us, and we wanted to make sure that we explored how to get that. What was the secret sauce to finding a guy like this? And to be honest, when we talked to the actors, what we basically said was, okay, give us your performance, and they did. And they basically read for Voss and tried it out. And then we said, wait a second, we want you to imagine that you're on an island. This island has no rules, there's no law. If you were on the island, if Voss was on the island, how would he act? And it became less about a performance and more about just capturing the fact that you could get away with murder. That's what this guy is. He's crazy. And when we started telling the folks that were the actors doing this, we started saying, all right, give this a try. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was the secret sauce. We found Voss.
And now, once we get out of this cave, we're actually going to start to see some of the gameplay. Far Cry, of course, is known as a gorgeous first-person shooter, but you guys have added some elements to it that we haven't seen in a Far Cry game before, right?
Absolutely. The key to this game is using your environment. And in this case, Jason, what he's going to do is he's going to use the fact that he's inside the cenote, he's going to use the waterfall to close and capture and get himself a weapon.
And this is going to be a game where you kill a guy and he's got a gun, a knife, whatever it is, you can always pick it up and use it, right?
Right. We wanted to make it just like if you were trapped on the island. How would you play it? How would you would go and you pick up an AK-47 and you'd unload it. Key thing for us also, though, was to make it feel realistic, right? There's something around every corner. You can see that there's temples, little things that you can go and check out, but you got to be careful. It's inhabited, it's dangerous, and there's always the chance that you'll run into somebody like Voss.
Yeah, and like for anybody maybe who hasn't played Far Cry before, I mean, part of the big deal about Far Cry is that it is an open world game. You can go where you want and tackle any mission the way that you feel like you want to do.
Far Cry's open world, right? And we want to make sure we have that. If you can see it, you can get to it. But we also focused on making sure that there were some up close and personal moments. If you wanted to go up top, you can. If you wanted to jump down, you can. In this case, actually, I think what Jamie's going to do, our demoer, he's going to run up here, and I know for a fact that there's a sniper rifle hidden up here. And he's probably going to try, I mean, it wouldn't be Far Cry without a sniper rifle, right? So he's going to try this, check it out, see what he can do. These are Voss's guys down there. They've just taken over the village. They've pretty much slaughtered everybody in it. And now they're basically cleaning up the little mess they've made here.
And your mission, and your goal in this is just to get to the chopper, right?
Yeah, absolutely, just to get to the chopper. So these guys are dumping bodies. And I think Jamie's going to take a peek around and see just how many were. I think I've spotted about 8 or 9 so far.
And I'm wondering now, this will be this kind of a different path we've seen, but it's possible too that you could try to go stealth and not shoot anybody and just try to get to the chopper,
You don't have to, right? If you want to use the sniper rifle, you want to blow stuff up, there it is right there, you can. But if you also wanted to just sneak around the periphery and you wanted to try and be a little bit more stealthy, you can absolutely do that. The AI will totally respond to that. So now Jamie's going to make some guys dance here.
So we're also seeing that as you're killing people, you're getting experience points as well. Can you talk a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure that the player's leveling up. We want to make sure the player's feeling like they're getting that experience, that they're learning how to play the game. And right now, I can't go into it too much because there's a few little tricks and treats in there that we want to save. But the reality is, if you played Far Cry 2, if you played Far Cry 1, you're going to love this game. You're going to be successful at it. If you're a shooter player, you're going to love it. And if you're looking for something that's a little bit more exploration and discovery, you're going to love it too.
That's awesome. So, outside of these things, what else have you guys added that we didn't see in Far Cry 2?
To be honest, we spent an awful lot of time on the environment, using your environment, right? Take a look at the water, the graphics. We wanted to make sure that you feel like you're in the jungle and that you can use your environment. In this case, what Jason's doing is he's actually hiding from all the AI. He's running around the enemies. They've lost him now, and he's figuring out how to get to the chopper using the water.
Awesome. And the water is going to play a big role throughout the game, right?
Absolutely. You got to use your environment, right? You got to get verticality on guys. You got to be able to use the water. You can go into the waterfall. You can jump into the water. You can follow the current. You can scooch around behind guys, catch them unawares. We've got the knives that you can use. You pick up a knife, you stab a guy in the throat, you do a double kill, you get a death from above. It's all there.
I'm assuming people probably might see this and think, okay, I come in here, it's just a bunch of crazy people and that's all it is, but this is Far Cry. I'm going to assume that there's a much larger plot that you're going to be uncovering as you go along.
Right. You might catch a little bit of it here. This is Voss.
So you didn't really manage to escape in the end?
No. No, like I said before, there's something around every corner. You got to the chopper, Voss took out an RPG and shot you down, and now he's going to explain his own little brand of insanity.
So as you're showing off Far Cry 3 for the first time, what is it that you hope people come away with from E3 about Far Cry 3?
I think, they didn't know we were coming, right? We managed to keep it secret, and that was a big thing for us. We're working on it for about 2 years. I love this line. So we worked on it for about 2 years, and we wanted to make sure we kept it secret. People, we're here, you're on an island, there's an opportunity for you to explore. If you've never taken that trip, you've never gone over, 17 hours and then in a flight and then gotten on a truck and then taken a boat and done this stuff, now you can. Give it a shot.
Cool. Well, that was a look at Far Cry 3. Hopefully that's given you a better understanding of how Far Cry 3 differs from Far Cry 1 and Far Cry 2. Once again, you are coming back to a beautiful paradise, but it is full of crazy people. I'm going to go ahead and kick it on over to Fran.
Thanks, guys. Looks really beautiful. Can't wait to see more. And if you guys want even more cool-looking footage, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/IGN. And up next, we have an epic game of epicness that I'm personally super excited to see. Why? Well, for one, because it has dragons, and who doesn't love dragons? And it's also the next in the Oblivion series. So stay tuned because Skyrim is headed your way.